OTB Spreads Prediction Show coming to you guys live on July 5th. MLB predictions. We're going to get into the full slate. I wanted to make sure I dropped this early enough for you guys to get into the first game at 12:30 p.m. July 5th, man. On the 4th, we did see some fireworks. We saw some home runs. Jordan Alvarez, 2 home runs, walk-off as well. It was a great showing. We didn't hit any big home run parlays. We were in the mix all day long. Just couldn't bring it home. We did cash a plus 1,700 5-leg parlay. We went 12-3 on the show yesterday. Absolutely ate for you guys. So everybody should have made some plays. Only plays we really dropped were Brewers, Reds, and Yankees. And I knew better. I said it on the show. I knew better. Stay away from the Yankees. We'll talk about them here in just a little bit. But yeah, guys, let's get into the slate. Let's get into the show. But before we do, this is Blowout Alert. The app that you're looking at is the world's best data and analytics. Had 3 clients send me on over. I should say subscribers. They're not clients. I'm just promoting the app for you guys that I helped build. And yeah, I had them send over today. Hey, man, I got these reads off of your app. I got these home runs. I got the game lines from how you went over in your tutorial. So guys, sign up. It's in the descriptions tab. Just sign up for free. Click on the Blowout Alert link. And if you want my premium plays, you know where to get them. They're in the descriptions tab on the winnable link. And yeah, that's it. So let's get into it. And you know, I've been saying it all along. This show's brought to you by Onyx Odds. Spend 10, get 200. Use code word on the ball. Once again, use that code word on the ball with the descriptions link. It is in there. So just go to the descriptions tab. All right, let's go. All right, first one up, we got the Mets taking on the Braves. Look, Nolan McLean's on the mound. He's trending in the right direction. You see this little green arrow right here. That's meaning his ERA is on the uptrend, not in a negative manner, but he's playing below it. And what that means is in his last couple starts, 1, 1, 2, 0, 0 earned runs. He had that one start that was ugly, and you can see it right there highlighted in red. That means he's playing above his ERA, not hitting his baseline. The yellows is he's right around his baseline, maybe just below it. Those are those 2 and 1 games right there. And then that 0 and the 0 highlighted green, right? Boom, boom. So Nolan McLean's a better pitcher on the mound. We've seen the Mets be able to crush lefties. They've got after lefties in the last 30 days. It looks like it's saying Bryce Elder, but from what I saw, it looked like it was Marcel Perez, what I was looking at online. So remember, these lineups are projected lineups because the official starters are not out. MLB.com is showing, I just want to look at this one more time on this Mets game. Let's just go over there real quick. Yeah, it's going to be Perez is what it's looking like. That's what MLB.com is projecting, guys. Marcel Perez, lefty. I think that the Mets can get after him. I'm going to go with the Mets here on the money line. But before we do, actually, let's go to our radar and just take a quick look. Click on that right there. 1, 2, 3, 4 wins. The Milwaukee game was a miss. Show some of the other games that we were on. As you can see, Detroit won, Seattle won, New York lost, Pittsburgh won, Reds lost, Chicago White Sox won, Houston won, Atlanta won, St. Louis won, Philly won. So yeah, there's 10 plays that we called out there on the watch list, and they won. So look at that. I mean, we had 3 losses out of the 10 on this, and then it doesn't include the Dodgers that we gave out. Didn't include a couple of those other games that we were on that cashed. Who were the Giants? We were on the Giants. That wasn't on the list. But yeah, we're on a couple teams, the Dodgers as well. So for the most part, we ran the whole slate, 12-3 day out of a 15-game slate. You can't beat that. It's one of our best days we've had since we've been doing this show. We had a sweep earlier this year on a 10-game slate where we went 10-0. But yeah, this was a nice slate, man. 12-3. You should have been able to make money. You should have been able to find a spot. So let's get back into it, guys. We're going to go with the Mets here on the money line, plus 104. There is no edge here, really. It's 50-50. You can always go over here and look at the pitchers, see how they stack up. Atlanta hasn't reported a pitcher yet. It's just being projected. It looks like it's Perez. As you can see, run differential is to Atlanta. Both of these teams aren't hitting the ball well, but New York Mets have shown they can hit lefties. If Perez rolls out there, I'm on the Mets for the value. All right, guys, next one up. Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the Washington Nationals. You got Cade Cavalli. I like what I've seen out of Cavalli. Bubba Chandler, not so much. Gave up 5 earned runs in his last start. But before that, he had been pretty consistent, playing right around what you get out of him, right around a 3-4 ERA. Had those 2 games there. He's nothing to write home about this season. But Cade Cavalli, man, the Nats rally around him. He's played pretty good baseball. He did have this little rough stretch there in mid-June, but for the most part, you know what you're going to get out of Cade Cavalli. He's going to give up a couple earned runs. He's going to give up a couple walks, but it's nothing detrimental as long as the bats are showing up. The bats have really been there for Washington over the last couple weeks. I like the edge. As you can clearly see, pitcher versus pitcher, it goes to Cade Cavalli here. And I do think that the bats can get after this team here. So, or at least Bubba Chandler. The bats have been very active for the Pirates. They've shown us they can hit righties. But with that said, I'm going to go to the Washington Nationals here today at -131. I'm going to agree with blowout alert with that severe pitching edge, as well as the engine points over here to the Washington Nationals. All right, next one up. This is one I bounce back and forth on because I do like what I've seen out of Lodolo, and Bradish is trending in the wrong direction. You know, giving up 3 earned runs in his last start, then 5-5 against Seattle and Toronto. Neither of those teams are that good of hitters. Cincinnati Reds, they're hot and cold. You don't know what you're going to get out of them, but Lodolo's had 2 really solid starts back to back. For me here, I think I want to go to the Reds again today. I know that what's his name, Hunter Green, couldn't get it done for him today. I thought it was a great play for him to bounce back, but the Orioles bats were just hot. They got after him. I'm going to go to Lodolo here with the Reds, and we'll keep it moving. I know the edge here, engine points are over here to the Orioles. They have a better run differential. They've been hitting better than the Reds have. Cincinnati, you know, Lodolo has actually pitched better on the road than he has at home this season. But I'm going to give Lodolo the edge here in this matchup. As you can see, it is Bradish pointing out over here. He's got the better ERA, but that ERA is trending in the wrong direction. He's got the better strikeout stuff for sure. And Lodolo's a little bit more home run susceptible. So this is me going on my edge here, and not so much blowout alert. If you wanted to go ahead and play what blowout alert is saying, it would be the Orioles here, but I'm going to go with the Reds. I think Lodolo can get it done and get a good start. I think he continues this good trend. All right, next one up, we got the Yankees here. There is no engine edge here. It's a 50-50 game. My rule is always you go with the Twins at plus money, but man, look, my spot play was they're back in Yankee Stadium. They've lost 10 games straight. They're not going to lose another one. Ryan Weathers, he's not been playing the sharpest over his last couple starts, giving up some earned runs, but nothing hateful. He had that really bad stretch there late May, early June, kind of bounced back from that stretch, showing us a little something. But it's been a while since we've seen a good game out of the Yankees. I think this is a get-right spot. I know Joe Ryan is a great pitcher, but he's had 2 bad starts in a row. I think the Yankees wake up tomorrow, they get some hits, they get some runs, and they lean on Ryan Weathers to keep these Twins bats off the board. Give me the Yankees here on the money line. All right, next one up. Chicago White Sox, Cleveland Guardians. This was a team that we're on today. We're on the Chicago White Sox. It looks like it's probably going to be Fetty going or Chris Murphy. I'm not in love with either of these pitchers. You know, Chris Murphy's more of a rotational guy. If he comes in, we'll probably see Fetty come in at some point as well in the 3rd or the 4th, 5th inning, or it starts Fetty and they bring in Murphy early. But Bobby's been playing good baseball. He's been much better than what he was early in the season when we're fading him, when he was being one of the more unprofitable pitchers. As you can see, the green upward trend arrow. Tanner Bobby leads all the statistical categories here for the pitching edge. As far as the case goes here, Chicago White Sox do own the run differential. So this is a true 50-50 coin flip game. But I do think the Guardians have enough to get this thing done in this spot. But the value is over here with the Chicago White Sox. They haven't really shown me enough. I just can't get behind Eric Fetty or Chris Murphy in this spot. I think that these Cleveland Guardians can do enough to get the win. I'll just play it safe here on the money line. I think they get it done. All right, next one up, we have the St. Louis Cardinals at plus 138 today. Is one of the few underdogs we were on. Like I said, I thought it was going to be a favorite heavy day, and it really was. Fairly easy slate to call, 12-3, as proof was in the pudding. But look, I think this is a spot here where the Cubs bounce back. They've been getting torched by this St. Louis Cardinals team. They're facing the weakest pitcher, in my opinion, on the rotation in Liberatore. He's been trending in the wrong direction, 4 straight bad games, and he had a decent outing in his last one. But even then, you know, he walked 4 batters. He escaped just because they weren't hitting the ball well there in Atlanta. You walk 4 batters against most other major league teams, they're going to drive in more runs than 1. I think they can get after him. He hasn't really showed his best stuff in any of the starts before that. 3 earned runs, 4, 5, and 6. I think that Javier is the better pitching edge here. Javier Assad playing better. He's had 2 rough starts here in the last outings, giving up 4 and 3 earned runs. But I think it's a bounce back spot. I don't lean on the pitchers to be the bright spot in this one. I know the bats have been hot over here with the Cardinals, but the Cubs need to fight for this. They need to avoid the sweep over there in the 4-game series, and they're going to fall drastically behind, down 3-0 to the Cardinals if they don't wake up. So I'm going to be with the Cubs here today on this side. I agree with the engine points for the Cubs by blowout alert. Give me the Cubs here on the money line. All right, next one up, guys. We got the Phillies taking on the Royals. I know it's ever so slightly over here to the Phillies. I'm not impressed with what Aaron Nola's been doing. You know, his ERA is 6.3, and he's trending in the wrong direction still. Avila hasn't been hateful, but hasn't been great either. This is kind of a wash in a pitching matchup, in my opinion. I think that Avila might be the better game manager, and these bats are decent enough for the Royals. I think they can generate some runs. I'm going to go ahead and take the Royals here with the value on the money line tomorrow at plus 119, and we'll keep it moving. Next one up, Detroit taking on the Rangers. Kumar Rocker taking on Casey Mize. I really like what I've seen out of Casey Mize recently. I know that he has trended in the wrong direction over the last few weeks, 3-4 in his starts against New York and Houston. Kumar Rocker, you know, he plays much better at home than he does on the road. He's been solid, keeping runs off the board. This Texas Rangers team has hit lefties really well. They haven't been as sharp against righties. For me, I agree with the engine edge over here to Detroit. I want to be on the Detroit side of things. I do think that Casey Mize is a clearly better pitcher. I also believe that Detroit's run differential, not substantial, but they can drive in some runs. They've been hitting the ball a lot better, and they've been making sharper contact, you know, a better barrel rate, better contact with the ball. They're driving in hits. So if they can do that, where they were just, you know, bottom half of the league and driving in runs in scoring position along with the Diamondbacks, I think they can get it done here today. I'll take the Detroit Tigers at minus 118 on the money line, and I agree with that engine edge as well. Next one up, we got Tampa Bay taking on Houston. This one here, I didn't see it on the books when I was looking to make my bets. I didn't see it listed. So for the sake of not handicapping it on the books, I'm not really involved on this. I didn't really look into the game a ton. But just from what I see here, you got Lugamina and Mike Burrows. Mike Burrows is such a hot and cold pitcher. You don't know what you're going to get out of him. He has a game like this, but we know Mike Burrows doesn't have good strikeout stuff. And there's no analysis yet, so there's something going on with this game because I didn't see it on the books either. So we'll just brush over this, but it's hard to pass up on the Astros, and we're on them today. But once again, this Tampa Bay Rays, they got the best record in the MLB for a reason. This is one where I might drop a free play or something on Twitter. So guys, go follow the Twitter if you want to bet this game, and I end up playing it. But I probably won't. But yeah, we'll skip over that one. But for the sake of it, it looks like the engine edge is giving something to Tampa Bay here. Not a lot of data, but there's probably some stuff working on the back end with the hitters here. And right now it's saying that the better hitters are over here on Tampa Bay. All right, guys. Here we go. Next one up, San Francisco taking on the Rockies. We got Molly on the mound taking on Tanner Gordon. Neither of these pitchers have been good this season. I'm not in love with the pitching matchup. I think the hotter bats are over here with the Rockies. But tonight, I was really impressed with what the Giants did. They came in, they handled business in Coors Field. I think that they can get after Tanner Gordon. They hit righties well. Go ahead and give me the San Francisco Giants. I don't mind the juice at minus 123. It's not like I'm paying minus 140 for the Giants. So I'll take the Giants here in Coors. I like the bats just a little bit more with the San Francisco Giants, even though the Rockies have played really, really good this year at Coors Field and have a clear edge on the run differential. Maybe breaking a little bit of my rule, but I just can't get behind Tanner Gordon, guys. I just can't do it. So let's give me the Giants here on that one. Next one up, you got the Brewers taking on the Diamondbacks. You got Brandon Sprout, who hasn't been the best pitcher for the Brewers this year, probably the weaker Brewer pitcher in the rotation. Eduardo Rodriguez has been really strong. I like what I've seen out of him. He gets a lot of ground ball outs, a lot of fly outs, man. And if you just look at the pitching matchup, you know, he doesn't have that great of K stuff. You know, that goes to Sprout. But in all the other statistical categories, it is to the Diamondbacks pitcher here. This is a fairly coin flip game, in my opinion. And with a coin flip game, sometimes you want to go on over here to the Arizona Diamondbacks. But like I said today, I know they grinded that thing out. They won it 3-4. If they just had a runner on, that would have been in the extras. I think that the bullpen is weak for the Diamondbacks. The bullpen for the Brewers is strong. I'm going to trust in the bats of the Brewers and the bullpen of the Brewers to get it done. Bounce back win today. They've dropped a couple games they shouldn't have this week. Give me the Brewers on the money line, especially at minus 125. Good price for one of the better teams in baseball. All right, guys. Miami Marlins taking on the Oakland A's, where you got saying Jacob Lopez, but I looked at this one already because I was handicapping this one heavy. It looks like it's going to be what's his name, Jason Jump or whatever his name is. So he's going to be on the mound tomorrow. I think he's the solid pitcher in this one. Yuri Perez has had some struggles at times, giving up big earned runs, but that was there in mid-May. He's played much better over his last couple starts. I like what I've seen out of the Miami bats. Miami has a clear run differential, +3 on the run differential. I like what Miami's done. I know they're out there in that Oakland Stadium, and I believe Sacramento, not in Vegas this week. So go ahead and give me the Miami Marlins. that Sutter home field isn't the same as it is in Vegas. It's not as easy for these guys to go yard. And these guys are still missing Soderstrom and Jacob Wilson. So I like to play here with the Miami Marlins at plus money, plus 101, and we'll keep it moving. All right, we got two more games on the slate, the 5 and the 7:20. To wrap up Sunday night baseball, you'll have San Diego and the Dodgers to finish off their series. And you got Toronto and Seattle. So Toronto and Seattle first. We'll talk about Trey Savage. Trey Savage had that real bad rut right here. He hasn't looked super sharp this season, but he's bounced back just ever so slightly, only giving up a couple earned runs in his last two starts. His strikeout stuff is still way down from what it was last season. Emerson Hancock, he's had some really rough starts, kind of flip-flopped the script. Had a lot of really good starts there in a row, but Boston got to him, and so did Washington Nationals. So I wouldn't really give a huge edge to either of these guys. They kind of traded off here. I do think that Trey Savage might be a little bit better. I can't trust the bats, though, with this Toronto team. They got whooped up on by the Seattle Mariners today. I think that the bats for the Mariners, the better bats. And if it's 50-50 between the bullpens and the pitching, I'm going to go with the Mariners here at home, where they play much better baseball in T-Mobile Ballpark than they do on the road. Give me the Mariners here on the money line. I agree with the engine edges to the Mariners along with blowout alert. So, let's keep it moving. Clear run differential with the Mariners, better starting pitcher quality. Give me Emerson Hancock and the Mariners. We'll keep it moving to this next one. Sunday night baseball, last game of the slate, guys. Home field advantage for the Dodgers. They play much better at home. We just saw them get beat in Petco. Sheehan, J.P. Sears, neither phenomenal pitchers. The clear edge in the bullpen goes with the Padres. So for me, it's a slight edge maybe to the pitcher on the Dodgers here. I know, these numbers aren't great when you compare them to these numbers, which are even worse. But for me, I trust the bats. Shohei Ohtani is going to be back in the lineup. He didn't play today. He'll be in the lineup tomorrow. I think he may even go yard. He's always a guy you want to fire up. I'm curious to see if his home run line will be above 250. If it is, I will take it. But if it's around plus 190, I probably won't. I like this matchup for the Dodgers here. I think they can get after Sears quick and early, and if they do, they can hold on to that lead, even facing a tough Padres bullpen. So go ahead, give me the Dodgers here on the money line. Run line, not money line. There's no value there on the Dodgers on the money line. They're minus 224. Clear engine edge to the Dodgers. Plus 8 edge. So let's go with it, guys. That's it. That's the show. It's a wrap. Plus 6 on the run differential as well. That's just too big of a margin to ignore. So give me the Dodgers on the run line, minus 1.5. And that's it. That's the show. Let's just review it by going up here on blowout alert, clicking on the radar. It's right behind my big ugly grill, man. So radar, what we have for the day is Dodgers run line minus 1.5, Seattle Mariners on the money line, Miami Marlins plus money play on the money line, Milwaukee Brewers minus 125 on the money line, San Francisco Giants. I can't back Tanner Gordon with the Rockies, even though the Rockies have been crushing the ball at Coors. Give me the Giants minus 123 on the money line. I trust Casey Mize to get it done. I think the Detroit Bats have woken up. Give me the Detroit Tigers minus 118 on the money line. Kansas City, Philly. This is a tough one to handicap. I just don't like Nola. I don't like what I've seen out of him. I think the Bats are good enough for the Royals to get after Nola. Give me the Royals here plus 119, backed by Villa on the mound. Chicago White Sox. This is a must-win game for them. If not, it's not looking good as we creep up to the All-Star break. It's a minus 157. I don't love the juice for Javier Assad. They really haven't hit the ball all that well. They lost tonight. What was the final score in that game? 3-0. And they got beat 17-1 or something like that, or 23-1 or something. It was bad the other day. It's not a lot to stand on here, man. And now I'm going over the slate. And I'm second guessing myself on this one. I haven't bet on this one, but for the sake of the show, I'm giving you a lean. I think the Cubs wake up tomorrow. They get it done. They get after Liberatore. They're going to need Assad to step up. That's the big play, and that's the only thing that doesn't have me in love with this game, is knowing that Assad isn't their strongest pitcher in that rotation. If this was another pitcher, maybe even Matt Boyd, I'd trust a little bit more than Assad. But give me the Chicago Cubs here, minus 157. Not my favorite play. You probably should just parlay that with something. And next one up, Cleveland Guardians on the money line, minus 156. I think Tanner Bybee gets a respectable start. He gets the win. Spot play, we're going back to the spot play. The Yankees can only lose so many games, right? They're not going to lose another one going back at home in Yankee Stadium. That was a spot play today. I'm going to do the same. Ryan Weathers has been a good pitcher this season. Joe Ryan's been phenomenal as well, but Joe Ryan's had 2 rough starts in a row. I think that these bats can wake up at Yankee Stadium. They get a win at -137. That's a pretty good line for the Yankees, even though they're on a 10-game losing streak. It probably should be lower. And then, yeah, man, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Lodolo on the mound. This is a coin flip game. I'm going to go ahead and take the Cincinnati Reds here and keep it moving on that one. Washington Nationals over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Cade Cavalli, the Washington National Bats. I like them just a little bit more than the Pirates. This should be a close game. We'll see how it shakes out. But I like the Washington Nationals here in this one at -131. And then the first game of the day at 12 o'clock to open it up, it's going to be the New York Mets. They're facing a lefty in Perez. The Braves have shown us they're starting to wake up a little bit. They crushed the ball tonight, hit some home runs. But look, I like how Mets have matched up against the lefties. I think it's a good plus money play. Give me the Mets here to get it done against the lefty tomorrow. But if Perez doesn't start and it is somebody like Bryce Elder, I would back off of that and probably rebuttal to the Braves. So just keep an eye out for that starting pitcher. And that's the show, guys. That's the take. All I ever ask is make sure to drop a like, make sure to subscribe. And if you want any premium plays, descriptions tab, click on the winnable link, sign up with the code word EDGE, and I'll see you next time. Book the one way.